So in the last devlog, I showed you all the behind the scenes of how combat works in the Outbound Ghost. And a lot of you really enjoyed this kind of showcase, so in this devlog, I'm going to show off how I do the cutscenes for the game in the same way. Before we continue though, I have two really important announcements. Firstly, this video will have Steam codes for my previous game, Girabox, thrown around, just like right now. If you want to get the chance to get a copy, stay until the end, and you'll want to stay until the end even if you don't really play games on Steam, because the Outbound Ghost is actually going to be at a direct in 2 hours from when this devlog goes live. At the end of the video, I'll go into more detail about what it is and where you'll be able to watch it, but yeah, that's it for now, and let's get into the behind the scenes of the cutscene system. So here we are in the cutscene. As you can see, this is my little character, and I'm inside this house, and on the left hand side of the screen, you can see that I have actually the cutscene file, so that's going to be really interesting to look through. And oh, I wonder what this is. Probably just a glitch, right? But yeah, let's get right into the cutscene and we can talk about it as we go. So as you can see, the first thing that's going to happen is a bunch of characters are going to walk in to different points. So I have different points shown here. So for instance, oh, what's this? Strange. I don't know what that is. But every single scene that I have with a cutscene has a couple points. And so if you see in the scene, it's a bit messy, but you know, as you can see, there's tons of yellow points that I can move to whenever I want to. So that's what's happening exactly here. So I have Michael, Mary, and the player walking to this spot, and then I have to use two little walk commands to make Michael walk around the table. And so Mary's saying, "Hey Adrian, we're here with a visitor," after, of course, the camera moves and everything. And then Mary's like, "Everything okay?" Because Adrian's not responding, right? A bit strange. And as you can see, I change the faces all the time in the characters, and that's thanks to Clay, who's our fantastic artist. And the music that you hear in the background is because of Kimo, who is our fantastic musician. So a lot of things going into this cutscene system. And then I'm just going to continue. Michael says, "Hey Adrian, we're talking to you." "Ah," says Adrian. "Why are you here?" "We had someone we wanted you to meet. You seem really startled though. Is everything okay?" So I think right now we're at this point, right? So as you can see, every single time that somebody changes speaker, or like the system changes speaker, I have to denote it so that the right bubble comes up. And so Adrian says, "I'm not startled," after doing a bunch of commands. So he's small jump, so it's like a small jump for motion. He has a shock command. He jumps to point. Sorry, that's Mary that jumps to point. Michael's also shocked. So a lot of stuff happening even in just like, you know, one frame. And so music just stopped, as you can probably hear. And Adrian says, "I'm not startled." Oh, sorry for the temper. It's just my brain's a mess. And then one of my favorite songs is playing. It's kind of like this sly, song. I call it Adrian's theme in the files, but it's not particularly Adrian's theme. Oh, strange. What's this? Probably just a glitch again. Very glitchy today. But yeah, let's continue. My brain's a mess. My amnesia is not getting any better, so Adrian is an amnesiac, kind of like the player, but he has a different form of amnesia, and we'll hear from him regarding that a bit later in the cutscene. It's tough to live with vague memories of just those from before death. My amnesia is not getting any better. I was reading from the file instead of from the actual game. But yeah, I forget everything every couple minutes. It's tough to live with vague memories of only those from before death. That's actually exactly why we're here, says Mary. We met someone else just like you. What? Another amnesiac? Yes, it's Kimo. So I named the player Kimo because I sent him this cutscene so you can do some music tests. But the character is named by yourself, so you can name them whatever you want to. So then the camera moves again, as you can see. So I added the player to be like the main focus. And Adrian's also focused, but I haven't removed that, I think. Is it? Actually, never mind. Adrian is removed from focus in this still. So a bunch of, as you can see, camera movements, and this is exactly how we do them. So it's a bit of a magic number kind of system, but I have some later cutscenes that use a better system. But I just thought I'd show exactly how this one is, because it's one of the more fully formed ones in the game. So you're in music too? Whoa! When did you become a ghost? Oh, I see. So as you can see, the player is a bit lost. He has a lot of EXP question expressions, and Adrian has a lot of changing faces as well. And he says, and have you forgotten anything since? I have periodic memory wipes. Do you have the same? So that's where Adrian is a bit different to the player. The player doesn't have these periodic memory wipes. As you can see, the player says he doesn't, or they don't. The player is any gender that you feel best represents yourself. It's supposed to be a mirror of yourself. So Adrian says, oh, you don't? So that means you're not like me then. Oh, strange. So that's an important one. That sounds like a pirate, but you get what I mean. So Adrian says this, and how I did that little shock, shock VFX is interestingly through this really cool package that I don't call it, it's called Feel. And it's made by the More Mountains people, and it's really fantastic. Let's see if I can find it. It's an feedback. That's the component. So Adrian, what's this one called? Adrian Pane? No, it's Adrian Hit Feedback. So here we go. As you can see, I have a bunch of little things that you attach to this feedback component, and then it does it. So it plays the particles. So the particles were these ones that just played over there. I'm going to stop maximizing my game so that I can, show you how that works. So I can just remotely play the feedbacks again. So it's a really cool system. And I have the particles attached to here. So I could also, actually I can't. I was going to say I could also just play them in the game through the default Unity particle system, but I can't. I have to do it in the editor. But as you can see, I have screen shake. So if you go to the game view here, you can see, actually, it looks like I haven't attached the screen shape, but that's something I'm going to do. But you have the actual particle effect, as you can see here, and the sound effect. And we'll see now, when we continue, that I actually do use the feel system for screen shake and such. How could I be so stupid, says Adrian. Ow, there you go. So that's also an important one. What's that pain? So if we check out the other feedback, I'm going to click here. Adrian Hit Feedback, I believe it is. No, Adrian Pain Feedback, I think it is. So that's Adrian himself. There we go. So I'm going to unmaximize this and continue there. As you can see, I can just kind of hit him as much as I want to. So it plays the particles, that's the hit, right? I scale the character as well, so it has a nice feel to it. I have Cinemachine Impulse, so I use Cinemachine for my camera for the game, and it plays some screen shake. A freeze frame component as well, so 0.06 seconds of freezing, so it really emphasizes the hit, and you probably wouldn't notice it until I told you. So if you check now, the game kind of stops for a bit, but it makes it feel really nice. And then, shader component, shader controller component, and that's what makes the character flash. So really awesome stuff there. And let's continue. So I think I have been a bit lost here in the cutscene file. How can I be so stupid? Ow, what's that pain? So as you can see, how I actually trigger these field components are through this command that I made, trigger remote feedback, and it triggers Adrian Pane, which is the name of the game object that has that command. And so just thought that I mentioned that for this game, we use this tool called Yarnspinner for all the cutscenes. So this general, structure for the file is provided to us by Yarn, which is an awesome open source tool that you can use for Unity projects, and I really recommend it. They just released their new, I think it's Yarn 2.0, where I'm using 1.0, but it's a bit too late to change it for this commercial project. But yeah, if you're interested in cutscenes and such, and you want to do something like what I do for this game, I think you would be wise to check that out. So let's continue back to the cutscene. Adrian says, "Ah, what's that pain?" Everybody's kind of freaked out. Adrian, are you alright? Whoa, the player got the same thing. It looks like Chemo is getting the same thing. And then that's the end of the cutscene. Before we continue with the devlog, I just want to shower you guys with a few more girabox keys, and I want to take the time to say, if you really enjoy the Outbound Ghost and you want to see it succeed, I would really appreciate it if you wish to sit it on Steam. It really, really helps for the game, and the Steam link is going to be in the description, and let's continue with the devlog. So as you can see, the cutscene system, apart from having to know all of the commands and such, is actually quite friendly, and since we might have someone down the line helping me with, the individual cutscenes, I really had to make a document that had all of these commands written down so you wouldn't have to, remember them from your mind all the time. So I'm showing a little bit of what that document looks like on screen, and as you can see, there's a lot of stuff, and having something like this is incredibly helpful, and really a must in my opinion. Even if you work alone and you have a system like this, it saves you the time of having to dive into the code or having to remember everything, and the time that it takes to make a document like this is definitely much less than the amount of time you would have to spend digging if you didn't have it. And on top of that, there have been many times where I thought, I wish I had this command or this other one, and I was about to implement it, and then I looked at the document, and actually I had implemented it before, and so, I didn't have to do it again. But yeah, that's it for the cutscene system, and I'm sure a lot of you are itching to learn about the direct that I mentioned earlier in the video. I'm happy to announce that the Outbound Ghost will be at the AG French direct with stuff that hasn't been shown at any direct before. Since a lot of you guys are, watching this video in English, I assume that a lot of you are going to be thinking, what if I don't speak French? Well, the whole event will be fully subtitled in English, so you can watch it like that if you want to see some new Outbound Ghost info. The direct is going live 2 hours from when the devlog is posted, so that is 6 p.m. CEST or 12 p.m. EST. So yeah, check that out, and I really hope to see a bunch of you there. That's almost the end for the devlog, but I'm going to shower you all with a few more Steam keys for girabox, and again, if you can, I would really appreciate a wishlist for the Outbound Ghost. I put the link in the description, and that's the end for the devlog. I hope I'll see you all next time, and hope you have a good time. Bye.